Hello, everyone. Karis here. And for today's daily devotional, I'm going to be continuing to talk about what is new for us in the Spirit in Christ. And as we are entering 2024 and have now immersed ourselves in 2024, wanted to talk a little bit about something that we've been sharing with the youth recently. We've been talking about the fruits of the Spirit and what types of fruits of the Spirit do we want to experience this year, and do we want others to experience as a result of being with us. Now, this is kind of like setting goals for the year, or maybe if that's too intense, maybe just the next month or so. I don't set New Year's resolutions anymore because I usually break them pretty quickly. But if you're looking at the next month or two, what types of fruits of the Spirit would you like to experience, and would you like others to experience when they are around you? In Galatians, it says, "But the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control. Against such things there is no law." And this is where the Apostle Paul was talking about what types of fruit would be born if we are connected and rooted in Christ. And I think one thing that is missing from this conversation sometimes is that when we most authentically experience the fruits, it is when we are doing something very important, when we are following the most important commandment, well, the most two important commandments that Jesus shared with us, right? Loving the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your mind. We find that in the Old Testament. But also loving your neighbor as yourself. And when those things are at the forefront of who we are as Christ followers, as people following a faith, we are able to experience the fruits of the Spirit more authentically, most authentically, I would say, because it is when we are coming alongside those who are suffering and those who are having trouble that we can experience that restoration of the kingdom that Christ and God call us to so emphatically. And I think that we can look at how are we taking care of ourselves first, right? Loving the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, taking care of yourself with that relationship that's super important, and then extending that relationship out into the world is also equally important. And when we do that, we will experience the fruits of the Spirit. So I'd like you to think about today, if you don't mind, think about what types of fruits would you like to experience in the next month or so? Is it love, joy, peace, forbearance, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, self-control? Maybe it's all of them. And when we are connected to God with all our heart, soul, and mind, and we are looking out for our neighbor, and our neighbor can be and is a lot of different people in this world, right? Not just our next door neighbor. I know we've been talking about this in the worship service, advocating for a ceasefire in Gaza. That is an example of our faith informing our practice, right? Following what PCUSA is saying around that is so important. These are all things that are vitally important as we are seeing our faith instruct what we do. And then the gift of the Spirit that comes, the fruit of the Spirit that comes as a result of being rooted in Christ, experiencing those things most authentically. Because when we can celebrate with communities that are disenfranchised, are marginalized, are oppressed because of our relationship with Christ, those celebrations and that allyship, that solidarity will bring nothing but the fruits of the Spirit. And that is my hope for all of us as we walk forward together into 2024. There's a lot going on out there. It's a hard world to be in. At the same time, there's also a lot of beauty. And we can bring that beauty by our connection with God and by our faithfulness in our actions that are aligned with the commandments that we have been given, but not just because they're commandments, but because it is simply a connected, aligned walk with God. And those will just come. Those actions will just come. I pray that for you. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you again. Blessings.